Castle Crashers, let's talk about it.
I think it's time we blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
If you've never heard of Castle Crashers, well, first off, what did your childhood consist of? Castle Crashers is a game where you are a little knight, or ninja, or peasant, or skeleton, or whatever, really, and you try to save a princess, but that's in simple terms. Here at my office, I like to explain the whole thing. So let's start from the beginning. Castle Crashers was made by Behemoth, who's famous for also making Battle Block Theater, which I'll probably talk about in another video. The game was originally released as a demo in San Diego Comic-Con in 2005, when its first name was Ye Old Day Side Scroller. So yeah, not the best original name. It didn't get its actual name until it got introduced in 2006 at Comic-Con for an Xbox arcade game. Then it released on Xbox in 2008, where it went crazy. I mean, it even won an award for best-selling Xbox arcade game the same year. Then 2 years later, it released on PlayStation, 2 more years later on PC via Steam, and then after a while, in 2015, they made a remaster for the Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And overall, there wasn't anything new besides graphics. In this weird minigame where you run away from a barbarian, I don't know. But it seemed to do really well, even selling 20 million copies. But now that we are done with that, let's get into the actual game. Before we continue, I wanted to say that I have a few items because I've played the game before, so if you see a sword that you could get in a different time in the game, that's why. Now that that's out of the way, I can talk about the castle is where you get to know the game and learn all of its mechanics. Nothing too special about it. You have 2 boss fights, one where you fight this ram card thing that has like 2 attacks, one where it, well, rams you, and one where it shoots balls at you. And the other fight is where you fight this giant barbarian thing that drinks, burps, slams, and shoots. Just like my father. The intro does a good job just showing you around, holding your hand like the baby you are, and getting you prepared for the next part of the game. Before you go to Thieves Forest, you can go to the dock where this guy asked if you could grab him a compass, steering wheel, and a telescope. We grabbed the compass at the beginning by the blacksmith, and now we need the other 2, which leads us to the Thieves Forest. This is another easy part of the game, except for when you see them. See, in this game, there are a couple types of enemies. Little guys, no bouncers, bosses, and the big bitches. See, the problem with these guys is if you get caught by them, you're done. You can't do anything to them. So you just gotta run around and shoot magic or arrows at them. Then run and shoot and run and shoot and run and shoot. And that's where you get annoyed because you're just doing the same thing over and over and over again until they die. Which is my first problem with the game. I feel like if I didn't have lightning, I would be done for. But maybe I'm just bad. Other than that, you go through the level, a bunch of animals shit themselves, and then you fight this mom that just shits out babies while you fight her, and then you run away from her dad, I guess? I don't know. I just like the shitting deer that's with you while you run away from him. After a while of running away, you jump off a cliff and land in a river, which leads us to our next level. After you jump off the cliff, you land in the river. You then start to fight these bats that can just eat your fucking brain, but they die in one hit, so you just double tap jump and you're good. But while they do that, the thieves shoot arrows at you from the side, but don't fire till you cross, so just go by them and you're good. But while they do that, you gotta fight these goblin fish things that are pretty easy to kill. You just use magic, then swing, and yeah, nothing new about this area. Just you gotta ride an animal, Magikarp, or some other thing. But then out of nowhere, one of the goblin fish gets sniped by a cannonball, and you gotta fight a literal catfish that looks, well, disgusting. The boss fight's pretty easy. You just hit this hairball and the cat gets knocked out. Then you just fight and run, not too hard. After that, you get to land and you're good. So before I get into this part, I want to add I actually ended up falling asleep on my desk at this part. And it could have been done because I was a little tired, but to be honest, it was probably because I was so burnt out. I mean, this game is so repetitive. All you really do is use magic, then jump and press heavy attack. Nothing else really. I get it's meant to be a simple side scroller, but I just felt myself getting really bored. Even the new people were just the same kind of people, just different magic. But that might just be me. I just wanted to say that I felt myself getting so much more bored, and this is where it really started, when I fell asleep midway through recording. After you fight the catfish, you land on an island where you fight these pandas that I guess are like the catfish's children or something like that, or they worship them or something. I don't really know. They look pretty cool. After a little bit, you fight like a boss panda, I guess. I mean, he has a flag and a ram, so basically, after you're done fighting them, you go in this little cave where you fight these slimes that are, they're annoying if I'm gonna be honest. All you gotta do is dive back and forth and, well, that kills them. And then you fight a boss bat, which just kind of flies, shits on you, and then licks you. It's a little weird, but once you kill them, you can get them as a pet. I wouldn't recommend it though, they're not the best. But I mean, even though this part's super short, I really like this part. I mean, look at the pandas. They're so cute. Fun looking. I mean, I just want... But anyways, part's pretty fast. It's only 2 levels, so that leads us into the next one. So after the tall grass fields, you can choose between one of 2 places, the industrial castle or the fields. If you go to the industrial castle, you'll see this giant wall that you can't open just yet, and the king laughs at you, so you just turn around and go to the field, where you fight these bees, which have this funny run, and you murder them. You also fight these beekeeper dudes that are literally everybody else, just reskins. Nothing new, if I'm gonna be honest. Once you're done with them and the bees, you catapult yourself towards the castle, and you land and fight these lightsaber dudes, but it's pretty easy, because you can't go up or down, only left to right, and you can kind of just combo them, or just get them caught in a corner with magic. After a while, you hop through a glass window, land on a cake, while the rest of your team just fucking dies, if I'm gonna be honest. Once you land, you fight more of the lightsaber guys, and oh my god, is it annoying. Because you could just be happening to have a combo, and they can throw one of these big ass bombs, and if the big ass bomb just happened to hit you, it's just so fucking... Then you fight the groom, and he's actually a really different boss fight. He was like a breath of fresh air in the game, which is why it's nice. He was a difficult, but really good boss fight. I couldn't say I had any problems with it. I mean, it was a little annoying when he just kept running back to the bombs, and he had such fast speeds that it was hard to keep up with a little bit. But I mean, I wouldn't say that's really a big problem, it's just kind of a preference. Anyways, the mom comes out of the bathroom and sees you killed her son, so she steals the princess while she cries and runs away. After that, you hop in a cannon and shoot onto her carriage that she's running away with the princess on, where a bunch of people fight you, but all you gotta do is watch out for the occasional bomb, and then you just press triangle while standing still facing the end of the carriage. It's kind of boring. And you knock them off, and nah. I mean, there's this little boss fight where the giant guy actually comes back, but all you gotta do is jump off the cart and just hit him in the air a little bit. Nothing. Like, just spam light and heavy attacking. Kind of just dies. And then you get fucking clotheslined out of nowhere, though, and somehow survive. I mean, it's kind of funny. Before entering into a cave where you fight some more of the lightsaber dudes and the slimes. But other than that, the only new thing is our first set of no bouncers. And if you're wondering why I call them no bouncers, it's because they don't bounce. I know, a revelation. But the thing is you can't tell the difference between the no bouncers and the bouncers. Kind of just gotta guess, which sucks, but it's really no biggie. But then you see the carriage and the thieves are robbing it. And the lightsaber guys actually come in. Wait, actually, what are the lightsaber guys' names? The Periwinkle Knights. So lightsaber guys come in and they just gangbang you with the thieves. But after you beat them, you get to enter into the next set of levels. The Firefield, which is a name I gave it. Actually, I'm not sure what any of these areas are called. I think I've seen a couple of them, but other than that, the rest are just random ass names. But the Firefield is a pretty cool area. You fight these fire guys that have some pretty cool fire moves, but the best thing about this area are the sandwiches. See, sandwiches in this game make you the big bitch for about 10 seconds. And they're pretty cool. Not needed unless there's like a door and one specific boss. You don't need them, but they're cool and helpful, and they give you a fighting chance against the guys if you remember to use them, which I did not. Yeah, I'm stupid. Real quick, before I continue what I wanted to say, I actually fell asleep on my desk again for 4 hours. Like, that's how bored I was. I mean, by this point, I was getting really burnt out because it's the same thing over and over again. I mean, I want to say I'm lying, but I can't. I mean, you can even hear it in my voice in the recording.
Bro, I was so tired. I was gonna take a quick nap, passed out, and then I fell asleep at like 2. It's 6 in the morning now, almost 7.
But I wanted to add this because it shows that the gameplay loop is super boring. But I was just adding this now. Let's get back into it. Anyway, you also fight these skeletons that are fast as hell, and there's a bunch of them, so it's a little difficult. But after that, you go and fight this giant volcano, and that's the boss that you need the sandwiches to fight. After that, you fight this sock puppet and a giant ass dragon. I mean, look at this thing. Is this where the animation budget went? Anyway, I suggest sandwiches here too, and just punch the dragon a fuck ton. Then you can get the steering wheel, and now we can go to the next level. So guys, Future Parker here. I'm looking back at the script, and I forgot an entire boss fight. So real quick, I'm gonna spitball the Cyclops boss fight. So basically, you go in, she yells at you, she rushes you with these knives, tries to stab you, and all you do is you kind of just block that and just hit her back a couple of times and block and hit, block and hit. And then she throws knives, and then you block those until that phase is over and she starts running at you again. You block and hit and block and hit and block it. It's a really easy boss fight, I'm not gonna lie. You just kind of block the entire time and you're fine. And actually, I don't think you block the stab down. I think you run back and then go towards her. Still, it's a very easy boss fight. There's not much to it. Yeah, I forgot to put it in. So there you go. Now we can go to the next level. Now that you got sandwiches, you can go back to that stupid laughing bitch and fucking have your way with him. Sorry. Got a little carried away there. What I meant to say was, you can go back to the industrial castle and you can now open the door. Once you open the door, you fight these new guys that have like this saw magic. It's a little annoying, but you know, you can kind of just get around it. Once you get around them, you go through this little parkour area, which I actually really like. You know, it was something new and it was kind of cool. After that, you take an elevator, which it's like meant to be hard, but you can just kind of trap everybody in a corner and you're pretty straight. After you get up to the top of the elevator, you gotta deal with a big bitch, and it's really annoying because he has a bird that I'm pretty sure increases his speed. I can't tell, but I'm pretty sure. And now you get to the boss fight with the king. Before I say anything, I'm just gonna let y'all know this is the third most annoying fight in the game. Only because this stupid fucking hand. I mean, it just flicks you. You can't just sit there and do anything to it. It's just... Anyway, other than that, you gotta destroy these electrical box things that are pretty easy to destroy. You just kind of dive attack and then hit it like once or twice and it's gone. Then these guns, one shoots poison, one shoots ice, one shoots fire. Pretty simple. You just gotta block them and then hit them. Nothing too difficult. After that, you get to see the king get betrayed. You just look at him. Oh, what are you gonna do? Cry? Gonna piss your pants? Yeah. Fuck you. Now you have the telescope, so we can go back to the dock and get on with the next level. So the next level is the pirate ship, and the pirate ship is only one level, so this is going to be pretty short. Basically, all you do is fight these ninja pirates, and they use substitution jutsu, which is what the hell. But they're pretty easy. You just kind of hit them back and forth when they do it. Nothing too hard, and they do this like 3 times till you sink their ship. We're on to the next level. So our next part is the desert, and the desert's actually pretty cool. You fight these sandworm things that have sinkholes, and if you get caught, they eat you. I mean, they're a cool concept, but if you have an arrow or any long-range magic, they die pretty quickly. But there's also these scorpions that come throughout that are a cool design choice, but literally die in one hit. So I feel like they weren't really needed, you know what I mean? Then you fight these big beetle guys that, if you're not smart, they can kill you. They go underground and can hit you while they're underground, but you can't hit them, so you just gotta keep dodging. After a while, you fight this mini boss. It's like a tiny alien ship, and it just keeps dropping out aliens that die in like 2 hits. And it tries to drop rocks on you, but you can kind of just dodge them and move out of the way. Then you fight another one before getting abducted. Once you're in the alien ship, you break out, fight like over 1 million of these guys, and kind of just walk to the side, and you see this guy in a jail cell. Let's name him Larry. Yeah, Larry. So you break out Larry and... Oh, what the fuck, Larry? So Larry breaks the ship. Thanks, Larry. And you gotta leave in under 60 seconds before it self-destructs. So you go through these weird smoke things, defeat a couple enemies, and then go through this funny line thing. I found it a little funny. Once you get out, you see this guy in a llama, and they're actually called a Saracen. I don't know how to fucking say that. I'm gonna just kind of eyeball it. But you fight a Saracen, and once you catch up to them, you just gotta keep fighting them. Then there's another version of them with chainmail that are just no bouncers. Same magic and everything. Actually, these guys have the same magic as the pandas, which, not gonna lie, I found a little lazy, but whatever. They aren't bouncing though, which sucks. And you go throughout the castle, fight these guys, and get to the boss fight. Let's go.
And I get the hit. The 4v1. What's I gonna do? I get one. Oh my god, he just came up and beat my ass. That was not regulation.
So once you beat them at beach volleyball, they give you a map and you can proceed to the next level. Next up is the Peasant Village, and this is actually a great part. You start seeing some guy getting his ass whooped at the beginning. So you go over, you help him, and the rest of the village sees you fighting off the enemies, so they come and help you. These nature guys come along after you fight all the skeletons, and they aren't too bad. Nothing new really, except for the fact that the nature guys have Vietnam. It's a cool area, and you even get to work with the village a lot. I even named the people. Yep, this part's great. Nothing bad. Oh yeah, the boss fight. When I tell you, this boss is the second most annoying boss in the game. I mean it. I mean, look at this shit. I go to attack, he uses some type of bullshit ass corn karate, and then goes underground. That's why I fucking eat you, you stupid ass bitch! Sorry, I really don't know what keeps coming over me. But yeah, I really love this area. It's just that fucking corn. But anyway, once you beat the corn, you get the horn, and now you can go watch porn. I don't know. So before I talk about Medusa's Cavern, I'm gonna let y'all know. This fucker. Yeah. This little guy right here. Yeah. Y'all gonna need him. Because the whole floor is water at the beginning. And I mean like all of it. Only for the beginning, but this guy makes you speed up through water. So it just makes sense to have him at the beginning. But anyways, when you get to Medusa's Cavern, you blow the horn and walk in. And like I said, whole floor is water. But there's these new fish enemies. And they're actually a little difficult, I'm not gonna lie. They attack in groups, they have these little bubble attacks that are annoying, but if you sit still and just press heavy attack, they're not too hard. Once you get on land though, they're way easy, because you could just dive attack them, and I mean, that's it. It's so easy once you get on land. It's kind of disappointing. But you fight them along the nature guys, that's when they get a little hard, because you gotta prioritize them. But after a while, you get to the Medusa boss fight, which was disappointing. I'm gonna be honest. I thought it was gonna be something cool, but literally all you have to do is stay as close as possible. Hit her, block her snake that attacks. You get like 3 heavy hits in, block a snake attack, and you do that. And it's not hard at all. I mean, it's really disappointing how easy it is. But after you beat her, you get to head to the next level. So in the beginning, you're not really at the ice mountains yet. You're at like a level before, but you fight ice people in it, so I'm gonna conjoin them together. But anyways, let me tell you about this part, because it is so difficult. Because the entire level is full of no bouncers and big bitches. So you just run around, shoot the big bitches with magic until they die, and then you just sit there and just smack the shit out of these fucking no bouncers. And then after a little bit, you get like 20 of them. And I'll admit, if the ladder wasn't there, I was dead. I was not making it past this part. But I'm just saying, this was so annoying for no reason. Because there's no bouncers, there's big bitches. It's a terrible combination. This is probably the hardest, like, little part of the game. I'm not gonna lie. But once you pass it, you get to the ice guys, who are really easy, especially compared to what you go through right before it. I mean, their magic's a little annoying, but other than that, they're pretty simple people with simple magic and simple levels. I mean, everything about the ice area is pretty simple. But then you make your way to the ice castle. You just gotta run through, and it's all easy and nice. And you know, you have this little like walkway part that you have to actually listen to, and I thought that was pretty cool. But once you walk through those goddamn doors, good fucking luck, because this is the most tedious boss fight in the entire game. I mean, seriously, you fight this guy and all he does is teleport everywhere. Look, in the early parts of the game, you learn all these moves, but once you get the goddamn dive attack. It's all you're gonna use. I mean, almost every boss fight is just this move. I'm not sure what the hell they were thinking with this shit. Like, I get so mad during these boss fights because you just run around, do like a phase jeb flash type hit, and then wait to do it again because you can't stop because the goddamn icicles. Look, this fight, all you gotta know is it's bullshit. And I promise you it is complete bullshit. But once you do inevitably beat him, he dies in the most gruesome way possible. And I laugh at the screams of his pain. Then you save the princess, and now we enter the final levels. Now we are finally in the end game. We start off by flying in the air in this cool part, dodging asteroids, and you know, this is the most different thing that I've seen in the entire game so far. It's actually really, really cool. But once you go up to the top, we land and we head in after them. Once we get in, we fight our first new people. These guys aren't immune to magic, but they do end up bouncing. They're a little faster, so they're hard to catch, but once you do, it's the same as all the other people. We do this for about 3 times, I believe, and then we reach the bosses. There's 4 doors, only one's open, so we go through the open one, and we meet the painter. So the way the painter fights is kind of weird. He, well, paints, obviously, and he paints 2 people. These people, though, are different every time, and they all do the same thing, just differently. They all chase you, but some are slow, some are fast, some do like a charge rush, I guess. I don't know, but they all have the same thing in common. You can't touch them. If you touch them, they explode, flying you back, and it's kind of just annoying. So you just kind of got to run around, shoot him with arrows, shoot him with magic, and you're pretty straight. After that, he'll come down and you can hit him a little bit, but he's going to draw 2 more people. So he's got to keep doing that. But once he enters his final phase, he just stands on the ground and just keeps, I guess, talking. I don't know. And it spawns a painting. And so you just got to keep following him and hitting him and hitting him and hitting him while dodging all of his paintings, walking through the screen. And once you finally get that final hit, he falls on the ground, throws up a bunch of food, and then just gets obliterated by a chest. It's kind of funny. But once you collect all the gold, you go through the next door, and there's this big crystal. You destroy the crystal, and then we go to the next boss. The next boss is actually the Cyclops. And if I'm gonna be honest, she fights a lot of the same. But instead of stabbing the ground, she swings the coffin, and you kind of just step away, go back, hit her. Then she shoots a fireball at you. The only different thing is, which I find kind of cool, is she stands on top of the coffin and the sun comes out. And I guess he's also dead? I believe the Necromancer revived them. But the sun runs around with this ominous music playing in the background, and you kind of just gotta sit there and run away from him because he's invulnerable, and so's the mom while she just bounces around trying to hit you. One of the things I don't like about this, though, is you can get trapped in a corner, and oh my god, it's annoying. I mean, just watch my reaction during this.
Or who knows, maybe this will be it. Yo, wait, what if I dig that spot right? Oh shit, I wasn't paying attention. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me?
But other than that, after a while, you kind of just beat them. They're not too difficult. They're basically the same boss fight, just with an extra phase that's a little annoying. But after that, you kind of just go to another crystal, break it, and on to the next one. Now we're on to my favorite, and I mean favorite boss fight in the entire game, the Necromancer. The thing about the Necromancer's fight is it's kind of like you have to do what you've done the entire game before you even get to fight him. The entire game you've ran around fighting different variations of enemies, and you've had to like combo them in corners and stuff like that, but there's also been like big versions of them, no bouncers, and they all attack you at once as he revives them from the dead. And it's really cool. It's a little annoying because, you know, there's big guys in there, so I recommend using sandwiches if I'm going to be honest, but even that is fun. The first phase is like the first set of people. The second phase, it's a little more annoying because it's just like they have big ass bombs, and y'all know how I feel about them. But after that, you get to the final phase where it's like a 1v1 basically. It's like the other fight that I really liked at the wedding. It's literally just you and him, and he has magic powers that are a little different, but they're pretty easy to understand. And you kind of just sit there and you fight back and forth, and it's actually a really, really cool boss fight. But once you defeat him, you can actually pick up his sword, but it's not really that good. It's not bad, but it's not good. And after you defeat him, we can finally go to the final boss. Once you get to the final boss, he has a couple of stages. The first is where he has these 4 crystal shards that spin in the air, slam into the ground. You just kind of got to break them, and it's pretty easy. After that, you get to his second phase, where he has 2 bubbles around him. If he's blue, then you have to use magic. If he's red, you have to use physical attacks. I'm gonna be honest, your best bet here is to use like your, in my case, lightning ball when you want to use magic. And like I said before, the dive attack, because he just kind of runs around in a circle and it's convenient. After that, he becomes this just giant fat guy, and he floats around the air and drops these little like, you know, balls on the ground. And this is the easiest phase in the game. All you do is just jump, triangle, square, triangle, square, triangle, square, or heavy, light, heavy, light, heavy, light, and you just keep floating, and it's nothing really. But you know, once you do that, he dies, and you can go, and you can open the chest, and oh my fucking god, what the hell is that? What is that abomination? It's big as hell. It poops out babies? What the fuck? Anyways, once you actually like contain yourself with what you're seeing, it's actually a pretty easy part. I hate to say it. It's such a cool drawing and everything, but it's so easy. You pop like 2 or 3 sandwiches, jump in the air, and just spam heavy attack, and you're good. I mean, he can't hit you, the kids can't hit you. You're literally just invincible. Once you do that, you fight the fat guy version again, which is very, very lazy in my opinion. But after you defeat that, you get to do this final duel, and he brings his sword out, and it's so cool, but not really. Yeah, he kind of just shoots this like bombs in the air, and they come down, and then he just like runs around and then does this like spin attack, and it's terrible. It's terrible. All you can do against him is use the dive attack, because you can't stun him, you can't do anything else. It's like the complete opposite of what I liked about the like Necromancer one. You know, it's like a 1v1 in that situation, but when you're doing this, it's like, it's just boring. You just dive attack, you can't do anything. But after that, after you finally kill him, you land on the crystal, catch the princess, and then watch the credits. Then you get to the final room where there's some friends, some foes, and they're all there happy to celebrate you. And it's really cool. You finally get to kiss the girl.
Let's check out the new girl. And I forgot it's a fucking clown. God damn it. It's a fucking clown. Yeah, I can't freestyle, but I'll try to. What the fuck is going on? My mom just texted me to come and order food, but she's gonna have to wait on this shit. Oh my fucking god. I can't fucking rap. I'm gonna just sit here and jam out to this shit. The end.
So now, finally, we have the conclusion. After beating the game and playing it fully through, I want to go through the pros and the cons of the entire game. For the pros, I thought the game has an amazing soundtrack. Like, basically perfect, no bad songs. And the only reason I didn't use them on this video is because they're so loud, you probably wouldn't have been able to hear me talking. I did use one of them, but nah. I mean, they're all bangers. They're really fucking good. I also thought the game looks beautiful. I mean, at some points it's terrifying. I mean, look at that dragon, or just a few minutes ago when I was talking about the spider form of the final boss. And at other points, beautiful, like when you're going up in the air. Really, actually, all of the background of that final boss area was amazing. And the planes are beautifully done. I gotta give it to the art team for this one. It's very appealing, and it runs and it plays good. The combat is really easy to grasp, and it's also really nice feel the whole way through. And I like that, since it didn't really change too much. But that's also a con. See, the combat also didn't change much, which I know counteracts what I just said, but I feel like they didn't change much, but there was definitely areas to change. Like, it was so repetitive throughout the entire time. Like, the enemies barely changed. I mean, even some had the same powers. Look at the pandas and the sand people. They both have that little tornado move. I mean, you could have done something with them. At least that's what I think. And all the areas work the same, except for a select few, except for like the river, or I guess the carriage you could technically count, or the asteroid part that was really cool. But other than that, it's just, I mean, it's all the same. The only difference between the enemies really is like, some bounce, some are big, some don't bounce, some are bosses, and I mean, it's just bad. And then when you get me the big bitches, it's like, oh yeah, we're supposed to be mini boss, we're supposed to be terrifying, but I'm not even allowed to physically attack you. All I can do is run around, use magic, shoot arrows until they die, and then I can focus on everybody else. And if they don't bounce, you just gotta spam a heavy attack till they die. I mean, it's just the same thing over and over again. I mean, I told you guys how I fell asleep twice. I mean, come on. I've never done that with any game. And it sucks because I really grew up on this game and I love it a whole lot. I mean, it's either super easy or super annoying because it's the same thing over and over again. My final con, though, is almost everything is useless. I mean, you have all these swords and all of these pets, but you only need damage buffs. And the dive attack and the bounce attack, along with the animals, I mean, I only used 3 of them, and one of them was for a very specific level because it had water in it. And then you'll saw me use the giraffe because it upgraded, and once I was upgraded enough, I switched to the hawk, and that's it. And that's because the hawk gives me health and does damage to enemies. It's basically the best one, and there's no point of the other ones. But with all of this said, I'm gonna give the game a 7 out of 10 and say it's more nostalgia. I do love this game, yes, and I really do, but I think nostalgia carries it. I think there's a bunch of changes that could have been done to it, but that does not mean this is not a great game. I think everybody should give this game a try at some point. I did it solo. Maybe if you played it with friends, it'd be a lot better, but through my experience, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10 and saying that it's mainly nostalgia. Hey y'all, so I wanted to record this because, well, one, I didn't have an outro, so I needed to get something recorded, But I also wanted to give huge props and thanks to Antonio. If y'all know who Antonio is, it's my best friend. He makes IRL and stream content. He's taking a break from streaming, so I recommend checking his IRL channel out. But he's probably the only reason I ended up making this video, especially as soon as it came out. If it wasn't for him, it'd probably be like 5 months. Maybe it'd never even come out. I want to give him props for getting me off my ass and actually making me record this. He deserves basically all the credit for this video, and I wanted to give that to him. He also helped with some of the editing, and he made the entire thumbnail. But with that being said, I also wanted to say this is something new. This is something very different than anything else I've made, and I wanted to do something I actually enjoyed. I kind of enjoyed making videos, streaming's been cool, but I actually really enjoyed this. This is something that I could see me making a career out of, because video essays is more of like me because I'm calm, collected. I'm not really a very hyper person on camera. So I wanted to try something new. That being said, I hope you guys like it. I love you all, and I'll see you tomorrow. Or, well, not tomorrow. I'll see you whenever the next thing comes out. I'll see you in the next video. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video. See ya.